Nearly 200,000 women assemble on a Zoom call to raise money for Kamala Harris. But I thought that such a thing would be considered racist. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about nearly 200,000 white women assembling on a Zoom call to raise money for Kamala Harris. Now, just a few days, weeks, months ago, this would have been considered racist by the very same people who were in the actual Zoom meeting. If you have a Black Voices for Trump, that's totally fine. I have no problem with it. ABL has no issue with a Black Voices for Trump. If you have Hispanics for Trump, Asians for Trump, Hispanics for Kamala, Asians for Kamala, Black men, women for Kamala, that'd be no big thing, right? But one thing that's been consistent, and I've been covering it for many, many years now, I've been reading stories, writing articles, doing research. If you have any kind of white specific event, that's racist. Okay. Imagine a white men for Donald Trump Zoom call. Oh my goodness. You talking about the federales going to show up, the FBI going to be there. You're going to get the January 6th treatment. But since it's the left and they create these standards, they can also just break them at will. Y'all know how it goes. Without double standards, the left would have no standards. Now, before I get into the video, which is really cringe, let's look at the actual flyer a little bit. You see what it says? White women, answer the call. Show up for Kamala Harris, Thursday, July 25th. Virtual meeting, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. There's a QR code register right there. And this was a flyer that went out. Now, one important thing to mention, this piece on the bottom right-hand corner, a little asterisk, all are welcome to attend. That's their way of getting out of anything, any kind of legality. Because if it was just this and that's all, then there could be some complaints of discriminatory action, although there wouldn't be if it was any other race. But again, they're the ones who create the standard, then they just break it whenever they want to break it. So that's pretty interesting. Now, before I go any further, let's get into the actual Zoom call here and see what's happening there. And of course, I will link to everything in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Ariel Fodor, affectionately known as Mrs. Frazzle, to her combined audience of over 1.5 million followers, is here to help gentle parent us through this election.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to speak today. I am like shaking to just be among such incredible company. We are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in.
So, you know, we're using a few interesting terms here. And before I explain what she just said, I'm cringing already. White guys, white guys, is this what you're dealing with in your communities? Is this what we got going on? Like, what is happening? But anyway, she said BIPOC women tapped us in. So there was a Black Women for Kamala Zoom. I think it might have been the Black Men for Zoom, but I know it was a Black women one. They had that. So she's saying that they said, all right, white women, you guys step up. So, and what BIPOC means, it means Black, Indigenous, person of color. That's the new way to say colored person. But anyway, I digress.
As white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season. This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good. No matter who you are all influencers in some way. So tonight, I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online and navigating the toxicity that comes with it. And spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too. So first, don't isolate yourself. We can do our best work when we're in community together like we are tonight, because the toxic feels smaller when we support each other. But don't make it about yourself. As white women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes.
So we got the white privilege. Hey, you know what? We're the best. We're the top of the food chain. So we got to use our privilege to be able to help people that we think need to be helped in a certain way we help them, which means giving out crack pipes to homeless people in Los Angeles. Is that, I mean, I'm just, see, the last part I was asking, that wasn't you saying that, I was asking, but I want to know, how do you plan on using your white privilege to help the poors and the coloreds? Oh, excuse me, not coloreds, but BIPOC. Black, Indigenous people of color? How do you plan to help them with your white privilege?
If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them, just take a beat. And instead, we can put our listening ears on.
Okay, so I'm included in the BIPOC, right? Because last I checked, I'm Black, right? I'm Black. I'm a real Black person, not racially ambiguous like Kamala Harris. Dad, I don't know where he comes from. Mom, straight from the Indian subcontinent, red dot Indian on the center of the forehead. Kamala Harris got the same dot on her forehead whenever she wanted to do it and put the sari on, right? I'm not one of them. I'm a straight up Black American. Blackity black, black, black. Been here since the boat, 1600s. So when I say something, then you shouldn't be trying to drown me out and say I'm wrong, right? Or does it only apply to those who are on your same team who happen to be of different skin color? I'm just trying to, add one and one and get two.
So do learn from and amplify the voices of those who have been historically marginalized, and use the privilege you have in order to push for systemic change. As white people, we have a lot to learn and unlearn. So do check your blind spots. You are responsible for your algorithm, believe it or not.
Okay, so that's a piece of it right there. This person, they call her Miss Frazzle or something. I don't know. She might be a TikToker or something related. But yeah, you're talking about cringe. That's definitely some cringe right here. Now, here's an article. We can just see some of this just to get a little bit more information, and then I'll give more of my 2 cents. You see what it says. White women for Harris meeting raised millions, broke Zoom. Then the 200,000 showed up. Record-breaking meeting was incredible, and some conservatives say that she is dangerous. So yeah, that's what's happening. They said that Zoom had never had a meeting larger than 100,000. So having 200,000 was a really, really, really big deal. But yeah, Kamala Harris, I'm not really a fan. You pronounce your name wrong. Look, that's the best way I can say it. It is what it is. It don't even really matter because in my humble opinion, she's going to be a memory come November anyway. After November, what's she going to do? She was already a California Attorney General. She was already the vice president. She was already a senator in California. So what do you do next? Go on a speaking engagement? Go on the speaking circuit? Are we going to hear about the concept of time, the passage of time, and water and random things like this you use all the time? What was that? I'm unburdened by what it's been. You're going to go around the country talking about that for $500,000 a piece, then go ahead, go for it. But I don't think that, as I close, I don't think that she's going to be in the Oval Office. I don't really see how it's possible. Look, in 2020, she ran for president. Most people don't know that. The average normie just out there walking around, working, doing whatever, they don't know who this person is. They don't know anything about her until right now. She ran for president in 2020 against Joe Biden and got curb stomped. She completely lost. She came in almost dead last behind Pete Buttigieg, the LGBT guy married to a man. She came in behind Amy Klobuchar. You don't even know who that is. She came in behind quite a few people. So now all of a sudden, just less than 4 years later, she's just the most popular person in the world and is going to beat Trump. If she couldn't even beat the 6th person on the primary circuit in 2020 in her own party, how is she going to beat the former president? How is she going to beat Donald Trump? A guy who they tried to assassinate and it didn't work. A guy who they tried to lock up and it didn't work. Who appears to be here by God's will. Because how do you get shot in your head and don't die? Like, what is it? What are the chances of you you're right here doing your speech, the bullet is coming like this, and you go like, you just dodge. You literally dodge a bullet. How are you going to beat this man in an election when you couldn't even beat your own party in the primary election just 4 years ago, especially when you were propped up by the Democratic Party? They were putting you on TV during Senate hearings, you and Cory Booker, because they thought that because you guys are quote unquote black, that it'd be more of the Barack Obama energy, but you guys didn't have it. You're goofy, you're corny, you don't have the wife, kids, and the story that Barack Obama has. Just because you black and you look a certain way does not mean anything. And I think that she'll find out again this year, 2024. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What are your thoughts on the white women for Kamala Harris Zoom call? Is it racist? Is it not racist? Now, if it's not racist, then white men for Donald Trump call shouldn't be a problem. If we're going to say it's fine one way, then it's got to be fine the other way. Whatever your thoughts are on that, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. Kamala Harris, goofy, not well liked in real life. You may have these white women that come on camera and say whatever, but they were going to do that for Joe or whoever. They're just Democrats, liberals. It doesn't really matter who you put in there. You could put the gingerbread man, Tim the Two Man Taylor, the Candy Man, the Snowman, Santa Claus. It don't matter. You put anybody in that slot, they're going to be voted for just the same as anybody else would. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.